Set us up to like say that it's easier to say something than it is to do it, and I think our society is like, we're kind of lazy, so it makes it easier for us to just say something, not actually get up and do it.
Laziness.
Hypocrisy is a very difficult thing to confront, especially when we or someone we love falls victim to it.
Sometimes we can be really outraged when we see it played out in the public forum.
All too often, though, it seems that we're kind of at a loss as to what to do. So at that point, we can just begin by starting to address the hypocrisies that are within us.
Honest discernment of our own actions versus what we say we're all about.
Do we say we want to see justice for the poor and then fail to act on the many opportunities we have to do our part to end poverty?
Do we hate the idea of someone talking about us behind our backs, yet jump in to put someone down when the conversation turns on them?
When we observe someone being hypocritical, do we suddenly find ourselves unwilling to help them point out their hypocrisies and leave it behind them?
Next, we ask the teens on the street if faith teaches them anything about hypocrisy.
Let's hear what they had to say.
Do you think faith teaches anything about hypocrisy?
If you have faith, you probably would be less of a hypocrite.
Act the way you talk. It says, in the end of the day, you really need to either be a good person and do what you say you're going to do.
It doesn't let room for someone to be hypocritical, because if you practice your faith really well, then you shouldn't be a hypocrite in your life.
That we should try not to do that and not judge others for doing something if we do it too.
Hypocrisy is one of the worst things you can do, because you're saying it's lying. Faith teaches not to do it and how to live, and how being that judgmental and being like that isn't a very good way to live.
So if you're telling people to believe in certain things, or like trying to help them understand in like the same faith as you do, you'd have to practice it as well to show them that I'm not just telling you this and like lying to you.
All right, so what about you guys? How does faith help you to deal with hypocrisy?
And what can we learn from Jesus' response to the hypocrites of his day?
We could think like, what would Jesus want us to do, and would he like it if we become hypocritical? As far as learning from what Jesus did with the hypocrites in that day, he used his courage to challenge those Pharisees and see if they could change their lives. We could use courage to stand up for what we believe in.
It reminds me of a phrase by Gandhi: be the change you want to see in the world. And when you want to change society, and when you want to make a monumental change such as hypocrisy and bringing an end to it, it's going to be hard. We're going to face struggles, we're going to fall, we're going to be hypocrites in ourselves. But I think when we use our faith, it gives us not only strength, but courage, like Jimmy said, to be the change we want to be, not only with ourselves, but bring about change in the world.
I also agree. I think that when I think about faith and hypocrisy, I think of preferential option for the poor. When you go to make a decision and you keep the poor and the unfortunate in the back of your mind as you're doing something, it sways the decisions you make. And the thing is, the little decisions that you make can help you as you go to talk about things or rally for things or be that change in the world. At least you're doing the little things as well as the big things to make your point known.
Well, next, Tajama addresses how hypocrisy goes against what we believe as Christians.
And describes how Jesus challenged hypocrites in order to shed light on the truth.
Hypocrisy does go against the basic rules of being a Christian, because we are taught to first not to judge others, and we are taught to be truthful in who we are, because hypocrisy is another form of lying and deceitfulness. So it does go against our Christian belief. Jesus, he spoke about hypocrisy. Jesus said that before you can remove the splinter from your brother's eye, remove the beam from your eye. What he's saying is, before you move pick out the small mistakes from others, look at the mistakes in yourself, because everyone has mistakes, and they're probably even maybe worse than the others. Before you can correct someone else's mistakes or point their mistakes out, find your mistakes and fix your mistakes first. And also, Jesus met upon the adulteress when everyone's going to stone her, and he stopped them right before, and he asked them, whoever hasn't committed a sin, be the first one to throw the stone. And no one threw the stone because everyone has committed a sin before. In the Bible, Jesus mentions the Pharisees and scribes, how they would profess the word of God, but then they wouldn't live it in their everyday lives. And that relates to even today, how some people, they go to church and they practice Christianity in church, but then outside church, everything turns around and they don't live it. And as Christians, if we act in what we believe, both inside and outside the church, others can pick up on it, and maybe hypocrisy can be reduced in our world today. I believe that prayer and talking to God can help us be less judgmental and hypocritical towards others, because God is always there for us, and asking for His guidance can help us reduce hypocrisy in ourselves.
I think that we can take Jesus as an example of how we can better live our lives and try to help others do so, and not teach, but try to preach almost what Jesus is saying. And when we make a mistake, maybe we are committing hypocrisy, but then we learn from our mistakes, and by admitting we made a mistake, we're furthering ourselves from the act of hypocrisy.
Yeah, I think we're always trying to get closer to God. So, we sometimes may be judgmental, but we also have to remember that we believe in a loving and forgiving God. So if we ask for forgiveness when we do find ourselves, being hypocrites, He will forgive us. And it's human nature, and you just have to learn and pray and ask God for forgiveness when you do.
I like what Ijama said. She said, before you can help other people, you have to fix the problems within yourself. And also that the main thing we can do is just pray to God for help.
Yeah, and with others, rather than simply calling them out on their hypocrisy, really just help them. Like, help correct them, help them learn. And if you are a hypocrite at times, acknowledge that, admit that, be like, yo, I made a mistake, and I'm willing to fix that. I'm willing to turn away from my hypocrisy. And others will see that, and they'll want to change themselves as well.
No one wants to be a hypocrite, but yet somehow we all can be guilty of it.
Perhaps the best way we can begin to deal with the problems of hypocrisy is to start within ourselves.
A nightly examination of the day that is ending will be a good habit to form.
Begin with a prayer to God, asking Him to illuminate your thoughts and actions during the day.
Then as you're getting ready for bed, ask God again to help you examine the interactions with people during the day and how you may manage a better day tomorrow.
How does your faith help you to overcome hypocrisy?
We'd love to hear from you. Contact us through our website.
The address is www.RealfaithTV.com.
Or you can call us at 609-406-7402.
And we'll leave you today with this passage from the book of James, chapter 3.
For where jealousy and selfish ambition exist, there is disorder and every foul practice.
But the wisdom from above is first of all pure, then peaceable, gentle, compliant, full of mercy and good fruits, without inconstancy or insincerity.
And the fruit of righteousness is sown in peace for those who cultivate peace.
Well, thanks for watching.
We'll see you next time on
Real Faith TV. God bless.